Alright, so today what we're going to do is we're going to install the Home Assistant container on Unraid. It's actually pretty easy to do. After we install it, we'll go through and show you how to set up a quick dashboard. So to get started, we'll go over here to our apps, and we can type in home and hit enter. And we'll go down there and we see the official build for the Home Assistant container. So we'll go down here, just hit action, install, and you can rename your container if you want. Everything for me is going to stay the same. And I'm just going to hit apply. And then once this is done downloading, we'll go ahead and continue on with the video. Alright, so now that everything's downloaded, what we're going to end up doing is just go down here and hit done. And we'll go back over here to our Docker container, and we see that Home Assistant is already started up and running. And we'll just click on that and go to the web UI, and it gives you your startup screen, and then just create my smart home. And then you just enter all your information here, and I'm going to pause this, enter mine, and then hit continue. And after you enter your username and password, it lets you put in your home location, so go ahead and do that and hit continue. Alright, so after you enter your home address, it gives you this. I keep everything as no, and I'm just going to hit next. And as you can tell, it already found compatible devices. So I found my Brother printer and my internet printing protocol. I think that's going to be either my Canon printer or it's going to be my HP printer. So I'm going to hit finish. And now here we are. We're at the Home Assistant screen. So from here, what we want to do is go down here to settings. And then we go to device and services. And then here we found the Canon printer and we found the Brother printer. So what we end up wanting to do just to get this set up, we just hit configure. And then I know this is a laser printer, and I hit submit. And it says it's a success. And I can have the area like right here, bedroom, kitchen, living room by default. I'm going to add a new area, and I'm just going to say it's an office. And then icon, there's different icons here that we can use. So, I can say like office building, office, right, if I want to. And I think what I'm going to end up doing is just using this little office building up there. And you can do a floor, like, I say I don't have any floors. I can say I probably can add a new floor here and just call it my main floor. And, from there, just hit add. And now I have the main floor up there. So if you wanted to get that level specific for your house, you can. We can add a picture if you want. I'm just not going to do that. And then when we're done, I just hit add. And then I hit finish. And now that's finished, I can click on it. And it's one device and it has 6 entities. So if I click down, it tells me what the 6 entities are that I can actually use to build a dashboard with this. So if I go up here to the overview tab, you notice it's not up here. I can go down to settings and I can go down here to our dashboard, and I can edit the overview tab if I want and add those printer settings to it. Or what I could do is add a dashboard and a new dashboard from scratch, and then just name this my test dashboard, and then I can change an icon if I want. I'm not going to for this one, and I'm just going to hit create, and now I have a test dashboard right there. So if I go over here and hit open, we see the dashboard's blank. I can hit this edit button up here, and now you see that I have a home tab up here. If I wanted to like have another tab up here, I can add, and then I'm just going to do second tab, and I'm going to save that, and now I have a second tab and I have a home tab. So if I wanted to put stuff on different tabs, I could, but we're just going to use the home tab for now. So now what we want to do is we want to add a card. So these are different cards, so we can get like an alarm panel and define an area, have a button, have an entities. And for this, I'm going to click on the entity one. And if I go down here, we can sit there and look at the down arrow, and these are the different, entities. So if I wanted to have the entity to show status, I can click on status, and it's going to have the sleeper, toner, low. I also can add, the black toner remaining, and I can have that, and I can hit save, and it actually shows it up there. And I add it to the sun, the dusk, midnight, status for the printer, and it doesn't make sense that I'm having the sunlight in there, so I'm just going to hit edit, and I'm going to go in there and take these out, and then I'm going to hit save, and now it's just showing status on my printer. So let's say that I wanted to show a gauge example here, because I don't want to use this, I want a gauge. Well, we can go up here and hit the edit button, and then we can go back down to add a card, and we go down here to gauge. So hit the gauge, and from here we can go down and look at it, and there's different things. We can display the needle if we want to. We can have severity turned on. So there's different functions that we can use to kind of make this a little bit more custom. And then this is showing the page counter. Maybe I don't want to show that, and maybe I wanted to show the drum remaining. So it says that I have 10,000 prints remaining, or maybe I want to show how much toner remaining. And I like this one because it shows me 24%, so I probably should buy a new toner soon. So now I can name this, and then I can name it my printer, and you can name it whatever you want, and you can have it up there if you don't like that default name. And then we go down here, we just hit save, and now I have that little gauge right there, which is kind of nice. And when you get in these are just kind of little building blocks. So if I wanted to put stuff together, right, I can go to the add the card, and I can go down here, and I can find the grid, for example. And the grid allows me to stack my stuff up together. So let's say that I wanted to add something here. We will go down to a gauge, hit the gauge, and I'm going to keep this as the default on the printer count. And that's one thing that I have up here. But if I wanted to add something else, I can hit this plus button here, add that, and then I can go down here, and let's say I hit a second gauge, and I got the two gauges side by side. And I'll end up hitting just for different. I put this as black toner remaining, so I got the page counter and I got the black tone remaining, and I can just hit save right here, and it shows those side by side. I got this default by 3. I can just bring that down to 2, and it's side by side right here. And that's pretty much, if I wanted to make sure that I keep these together, I can have those side by side. So it's going to be easy as that. Alright, so now that we got this installed, like right here, if I go back to the settings, and I go to devices, services, I can set up my own and configure this printer, but I have other smart devices, and you might notice that you don't see yours up here. Well, to get them installed, it's actually pretty easy. We just go over here to Home Assistant, and then from here, we can sit there and use a search button or integration, and we have different devices that we can actually pick from. So for me, I have like a little robot. So I can click on a little robot, and I can click on that. And then you just read these instructions here. And it's actually pretty simple. For this one, I just add the integration to Home Assistant. And then open page in the Home Assistant. I just hit open link. And then I'll have to log in. So I'll go ahead and log in right now. And once I'm logged in, it's going to ask me, do you want to set up Little Robot? Well, of course I do, because it's a smart device, and I want it on Home Assistant. And I hit OK. And then I have to enter the Little Robot username and password. So when you have a Little Robot, you have your username and password on the default app. You're just going to input that right here. Alright, so I got my Little Robot. I had a success box set up, and I hit finish. And I have the Little Robot right here right now. So all you got to do is click on it. And we go down here, and we have 14 entities. So we have different things up here. Obviously, I named mine the Shipbox 3000 when I set up my Little Robot years ago, because I had 2 cats using it. And, it works. I'm talking about I love my Little Robot. I'm not an advertisement, but if you have cats, I think this is a must, because it makes your life so much easier. But we go down here, and these are the different entities that we have. So if we click on one of them, it kind of, tell you the commands. I can hit play and stop. I can hit start cleaning. So there's different things that we can do here. So if we go back over here to our settings, and then we go back to our dashboard, and we go to our test dashboard, and we just go ahead and open that up. And I can edit this and add a card. And let's say that I want to have another gauge. And the reason I like my gauges is because, most of the stuff I like to monitor, just makes sense to have a gauge. So if I go down here and look at this, right, I like to monitor the race drawer. So if I click on that, and it's right there, so I know that it's 76.9% full. That's pretty good metric that I want to know, because when that's 100%, I know that it needs to be changed, because we want a happy kitty. But that's pretty much it. I'm talking about you can go through and add these different gauges. You can add a device, and you can add different things in there. So it's a pretty easy thing to do. And the last thing I want to show you is we'll go ahead and I can set my thermostats here. So we'll go back to the Home Assistant area. And what we'll end up doing is we'll look for thermostats. Well, I got Honeywell Thermostats. So I can go back to the integration, and I can type in Honeywell. And we have different things up here. I have the Honeywell Lyric, so I just click on that. And, this will give you different information. So I got to go to the developer site and register with account. I got to create a new app to use the My App section. And we have this callback. So we'll just go ahead and do the developer site. And then we'll sign up here. And you can just go ahead and sign up if you have one. I'm talking about you might have a different thermostat, and it's going to be a different process. But just to kind of show you how this works, we can go ahead and sign up. But I'm just going to go ahead and sign in, because I'm already signed in. Or signed up, I mean. Alright, so once you sign up, you just go over here to My Apps. And you'll have a Honeywell temperature app. If you're using mine, you might have something else. But if I click on that, it's going to give me my consumer key, my secret key, and that's what we're going to need to have to set this up. Alright, so if we go back to instructions, we'll need to go back to the Home Assistant page. Alright, so being at the Home Assistance page, we're going to see this callback URL. We want to copy that. And then we'll go ahead and add this to the integration. So it's going to open my Home Assistants. And it's going to ask me if I want to set up the Honeywell, and these are, again, my thermostats. So I hit OK, because I want to set those up. And it's going to have the name up here and my ID and my ID secret. And again, that's going to be back into your Honeywell app. So we go back over here to the Home Assistant, go back to the developer site. That's going to be in my apps, and you just click this and it's going to show you all that information you need to put in there. So I'm going to go ahead and fill mine up, and then I'm going to hit the add button. And then just for a second security, after you hit the add, it's going to ask you to log into your main account, and just kind of a secondary security feature. And this is going to ask you if you want to allow your device to work with Home Assistant. And, it's going to be okay. It'll be okay. So we'll just hit allow. And then we'll let that go through, and it'll take a second. And then it recognized both my temperature. So I got my BAT1 and my BAT2 temp. And I hit connect, because I got like 2 thermostats. One for upstairs and one for downstairs. And it's asking me if I want to link my account. I click on that. And then everything's going to be good. And that's going to be the same process. I'm going to have both. I can define the area. So, if I want to say that one's in my office and then this one's in the kitchen, I can do that and just hit finish. And now we have right there, 2 devices. And both of these are the same type, they're the same model. But I click on that, and again, go down and look at this, and I can add this to dashboard to show what my temperatures are pretty quickly. I click here, and I look at the entities, and these are the different things that I can set up on my dashboard. So if I go over here, and we hit settings again, and we go to dashboard, and I'll hit test, and we will open it up, and we have that in there. And we just hit edit right here, and we'll add a card, and then go down here, and there's different things that we can check on how we want to set this up. Well, I guess what I'm going to do over here, I'm just going to use the entity here, and I can click on this, and I can show like the temperature where we're at. It says that that's cool, and then we can set there and save that. And now I have the temperature over here that's says that it's cool running. Doesn't really tell me that much, so I can edit that, and maybe I want a different entity in here, and I can go down here, and maybe I want to know what the indoor temperature is. Well, that's 75 degrees, and that's going to show me a little bit more, and I'll have that in there. But that's not really what we probably want to use or show. What we probably want to show is we want to go down here and look at, let's see what we want. And that's going to be right here, thermostat. And I want to click on this one. And this makes more sense because I can save this. And now I have my thermostat, so if I want to lower it or raise it, I can from right here on that dashboard. And then we can set there and use these to minus and plus it. I still got my temperature outside. So this kind of gives me a little bit more interaction where I can actually go in a dashboard and do this without getting up and going over there. And there's different controls we can do. Like I know for my litter box, I'm talking about I can set up automation to turn and turn off the lights. Over here, I can have the temperature, go up and down. And that's basically it to kind of set up like a quick little dashboard. Now I know this dashboard is ugly, but the intent of this wasn't to design a dashboard, but actually give you the capabilities for you to design your own. And I encourage you guys to go in there, build out a beautiful dashboard, And, leave the comments, below on, what type of dashboards that you created or how you are using Home Assistant. And then, later on, I might build me out a more interesting dashboard and show how that works. But that's pretty much it. I'm talking about setting up and using Home Assistant is, pretty easy. You're just going to have to come up with your own visual design on how you want to see your data and how you want to lay out. But hopefully this quick tutorial will give you the skills that you need to actually build something out that's going to be useful for your use case. And that's it. So please like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later.